Today, Trump said something I thought was really exciting, something I've been waiting for a long time. He said that he's going to send Elon Musk to start auditing the Pentagon. And one of my most mind-blowing mysteries I've ever seen is this right here, out the stuff like the Pentagon has a $35 trillion accounting black hole. They've never passed an audit before. So I mean, I keep telling people we're probably just hit the tip of the iceberg with the USAID stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think this is like the mother lode right here?
Well, USAID is, only, if we can say only what, $47 billion a year,
Yeah.
only unaudited. The Pentagon is what, over $1 trillion a year.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it would, if you spent $1 billion a year, it would take you 1,000 years to spend $1 trillion. That's how huge this is.
Yeah.
So there is so much fraud and so much abuse and so much corruption in Pentagon spending that it is really, way overdue. And this is the thing, people in Congress and a lot of conservatives, well, we have to support the troops. We have to spend more money to support the troops. Really? You're going to support the troops with trillions of dollars in fraud? Doesn't that defraud the troops also?
Yeah, and you got all these guys, these veterans that are nearly homeless or poor, and they get terrible health care. And but then, where's this money disappearing to? I mean, I ask that rhetorically because I guess we have a pretty good understanding of the system, and it's like just kickbacks and them getting price gouged by the contractors and all that. But I'm like, is this going to Black Ops? Is it because this is an entire year of a GDP right here?
$1 trillion black op.
Yeah, I know.
You couldn't hide it. You couldn't hide it. No, it's mainly, first of all, we haven't had a real strategic reassessment of how do we defend our country and what our national vital interests are since the late 1940s. We defeated Hitler. We defeated the fascists. This is, Soviet communism was on the march. What do we do? So the system we have now was developed in 1947, 48, 49.
Yes.
And we're still operating that way. So when you're still building super carriers, and we need aircraft carriers, but where are our drone forces?
Right.
We don't have them. Where are our real hardcore cyber forces that can take other enemies down before they come at us? We have them, but we haven't spent much in them because we're still funneling tons of money into an obsolete strategy designed to fight the Cold War and then modified to fight a couple guys in a cave, Al Qaeda.
Yeah. Well,
and we never fully adapted. So there's going to be waste. Let's say all of it was spent wisely and honestly under that strategy. It's still an obsolete, wasteful strategy. Now you combine that with graft and grift and fraud and abuse and all of these other things. Imagine you're an officer in the Army and you aspire always to be promoted, and you can retire at full colonel. You'll get put on. You can do your own contracting company. They'll hire you. Your colonel's pension is pretty generous. But then you go on to these companies, and I know guys who've made millions and millions of dollars as Pentagon contractors. Now, I don't have any problem with Pentagon contractors making a fortune if they add value to defend us.
Right.
So if they develop a technique or a technology or something, or have special advice that saves American lives, saves American resources, it's a value even to pay them a lot of money. Where it becomes a ripoff is when it becomes cronyistic. So you think, how do you really get promoted in the American military now? You have to brown nose your way up. You have to go along with what your superiors do because it's your superiors who recommend their subordinates for promotion. And once you break from Lieutenant Colonel 05 to Colonel 06, that's really the breaking point between sort of how much money you're going to make or where your prestige is going to be. So you got full bird colonel, then you're fine. Navy captain, great. But once you make general or admiral, that's even better. And if you can retire at 4 stars, which we have 40, 50 4 stars. I don't know the exact number, but
sounds about right.
A few dozen. They retire with a $200,000 a year salary for life. They retire in their late 50s, early 60s. For life, plus all the benefits, plus all the privileges that come with it, tons of privileges. So the taxpayer is probably shelling out $300,000 a year per retired 4-star general for life. And most of these 4 stars, few of them are real commanders. They're just uniform bureaucrats because while we think of the general officer as a rank, they call themselves pay scale. And it's matched with the civil service pay scale. and
Oh,
then the
wow.
executive service pay scale. So it's matched. So you have a civilian go in right now. They put in Darren Beatty as Undersecretary of State for Public Diplomacy, acting. That's 3-star general rank.
Oh, wow.
You know, the guy from Revolver News.
Right.
So he's a 3-star general now, civilian equivalent. So these generals go out. Every single defense contractor wants to put generals on their boards of directors. So you get me being a general, or brought in as a very highly paid consultant. So on top of their pension, they're making a few $100,000 a year off this. So it becomes multi-million-dollar a year gig, or they become partners in a firm where they then get a portion of the profits, or they set up their own companies and they get their 10% on top of everything else. And some of these guys make, you know, outrageous fortunes, which is okay if they're providing value, but very few of them are.
Right. When they're just favor trading or trading information, that's not cool. Like, was it like I think JP Morgan hired General Milley after he retired. Right. Is that right?
Yeah, and that's pretty standard where you want to
Yeah.
hire a high level person with a lot of visibility. Where his value is, though, is his personal network.
Right.
General Milley can call almost anybody in the world who he wants, you know, any foreign leader, any business leader, any defense minister in any other country, lots of people in the system here. He can open up doors, and that's his value. So but imagine you aspire to this not to serve your country. You're really aspiring to cash in on your duty. So of
Mm.
course Milley's going to come in and get as woke can be, because that's what Obama wanted, you know, for him to be promoted. And then Trump, you know, can you even name his defense secretaries? All of them?
No.
It's hard to keep track. But the first one was just as woke because they all knew each other, and they were all just doing what the civilian leadership under 8 years of Obama demanded that they do. And then they elevated people beneath them who thought the same way they did with imposing all this DEI. So if you wanted to make these higher ranks, you had to buy into DEI or you're out.
Mm.
No one wants to get out with those kinds of stakes. A very
No.
rare person will.
If you enjoyed the short clip, click right here to watch the full episode, and remember to subscribe to the channel. God bless.